Welcome to my channel. I am Zephyr Green. If you've been here before, welcome back. It's been a while since I've recorded. Life's been busy. And also, I did record a few things, but I've had technical difficulties on multiple videos. So, for example, my mic unplugged for one, and generally, I tried to do a Darkest Dungeon run and I wasn't feeling it. But simultaneously, it took a lot of work to get it to work in OBS. And then OBS glitched out while I was recording. But I will give my shout out to it. It is a pretty fun game. It's a pretty old game now. Like 10 years old, I think, at least. So, but we're going to be talking about this game instead. Rogue Command. This is an RTS game with roguelike elements and roguelite progression. I am currently profile level 51. It previously had a max profile level of 50. This game is in early access, so the 1.0 is coming out soon. Overall, I've had a fantastic experience with it. It runs well, and it has a lot of different ways to be played, which I think is kind of the big thing about playing a roguelike or even an RTS is just being able to express kind of how you're doing. You do pick units at random from a grid, so to say, and you can generally get a few of the units that you want every run, and then you get upgrades and stuff. So let's get into it. So this is the battle archive down here. It's telling me that I've never unlocked it, apparently. Let's see here. So the engineer, this is your builder. He can build everything. All your buildings are built from the builder. You get 3 lives over the course of 9 missions. And so if you lose those lives, you lose the round. It is a roguelite. So you do unlock stuff. As you see, I have a lot of green numbers here. These are from the battle archive. I'll show you that in a second. Just to cover all this real quick. Builder, harvester, and then your specialist. Your specialist is kind of like a caster, equivalent to something like the StarCraft Queen, StarCraft 2 Queen, specifically, or yeah, that's something like that, or maybe the priest in Warcraft 3, those kind of things. So this is your necromancer, raises zombies, robo zombies, and robos are your infantry in this game. They're humanoid robots. And then each specialist comes with a set of cards. These are called hacks. They're permanent to the run. And you just get kind of like artifacts in Slay the Spire. You just get these and you stack them up. And so you start with this card and it does a bunch of stuff. So friendly units can drop basically a core is a corpse, and then they gain extra damage and health and stuff. So you can have different engineers. I'll do it down this way. The reach engineer can build things much, much farther away, generates less money. The combat engineer actually deals damage and attacks very quickly, as well as has massive amounts of health and some armor. Notice that the other one has shields. Shields block all incoming damage, no matter what their size is, but then they deplete. Anyways, combat engineer has units teleport to it, and it can also teleport to base, as well as it generates health. No enemies are in sight. We've got the crystal harvester, which is just your basic like SCV-ish kind of little dude, and then it can spawn a smaller version that does exactly the same thing. All the stats are the same, but does not last forever. Kind of like the mule in StarCraft 2, but you don't have to control it. It will automatically go and harvest. You don't have to call it down. You just press the button and it goes and harvests. You got the hover harvester, which can just move really fast and harvest extra fast. Everything that has a skill can only have one skill, by the way. So you've got the armored crystal harvester. It can summon a turret. It also summons a little patch of crystals, so that creates like a mild amount of infinite crystals. And then it gains extra harvest rate and bonus crystals in the synthesized spot if something dies nearby, which is useful because they will typically send out scouts. So like that first couple units that you see will typically run right into these guys if you build your base in a certain way. Not hard or anything. Core harvesters, they can be deployed on like a whole group of crystals. They harvest everything at once. They deal half damage now. I don't think that was in there previously. They deal half damage to the crystals. So you could deploy a bunch of these into a crystal patch, and they'll last a bit longer, and they'll harvest every crystal they can see at once, and they'll just sit there. And that's it for those. For the specialist, we've got the necromancer looking kind of thing. We got the spider spawner, creates an egg on enemies, and the eggs pop out with like five spider creepers. Spider creepers are little mini spider robots. They're one of the few units that are spawns and not units. You'll see these cards up here: unit, specialist, mech. Spider creepers are only spawn; they're not unit. Anyway, and then they give spawns as well as spider creepers extra stuff. So like robo zombies are also spawns. You got the support tank. This is your defensive specialist. Heals nearby allies as a healer for just like 1 HP per second. This does stack, so you can get up to 3. This is your unit cap over here. You can get up to 3 of this support tank. And so your 3 most damaged targets could heal for 3 per second if they're the same in the same vicinity. And then it gives a massive like 30% damage reduction in a targeted area away from itself, not centered on itself. And then gives extra health to all your friendlies, which would be, I believe, all buildings and stuff. Yeah, buildings and stuff too. We've got the Rush Beacon. These are kind of like creep tumors in StarCraft 2, where you can build this building and then spawn it with an extender. But if part of the chain is broken, everything after the chain is destroyed. So you don't want an enemy to come in and break one of those extenders in the middle, as that's problematic. You can have 3 of these. They do attack. They are a turret, relatively weak turret. Have hit points kind of similar to a base building, and the extenders have less health. Everything moves and attacks faster, and then units nearby get rush, which is a special keyword that doesn't stack naturally, which gives even more movement speed as a percentage. And then these, of course, these cards over here, they can upgrade over the course of the run. We've got the Mantis Mech. Takes reduced damage, but does redirect it to allies. Developers in their Discord were talking just recently about making this just be damage reduction. I would love to see it just be robust. It would be weaker, but then you could get cards that stack with robust. Automatically heals when it's out of sight or out of a certain distance of enemies. And this thing can just continue to become like a god bug mech thing. Every time it eats something, it gains 10% of its attack damage +1 and 50% of its max health. It does increase in cost, which is effectively a timer. It increases in mana cost every time you use it. And then this can do all sorts of crazy stuff, and you only get 1 of these, but it increases every time. So you can get up to 3 of these. Trying to go as fast as I can here. Phase Walker, these things teleport like a Blink Stalker in StarCraft 2, but they bring units with them. So kind of like an Arbiter from StarCraft 1 with a Blink Stalker in StarCraft 2, I guess. And then they get attack speed, cooldown when they get strength, but they give strength to everybody that teleports with them. They also give skill range, attack damage, and mana recharge rate, mana points. And then the Incinerator is a fire-focused one. Enemies move and attack slower if they're on fire. It causes Smart Fire to do extra damage. Smart Fire deals very little amounts of damage. So I'm not sure how valuable that is. I've not used the Incinerator, to be clear. But the missiles, these are the real value of the Incinerator. The missiles dealing 12 damage and igniting a Smart Fire from a distance. And the fact that it increases Smart Fire by 30%, so you can kind of get Smart Fire from different sources and increase it. Castle, also a new one. Buildings that deal damage do more damage and get more health. Again, the skill is one of the primary aspects of this. It does do some damage. It is a giant building that's a turret, but it doesn't do it doesn't attack. I mean, it's not bad. It's just not it's not amazing or anything. For damage, your damage is going to be coming from here, the attack. And this is global, just so that you know. So it does hit multiple, in like an area, and it is global. So, and then these hacks, these artifact equivalents, these upgrade twice in a run, at the end of level 3 and the end of level 6, and then level 9 is the final boss level. So 3, 6, 9 are the boss levels, and then when you beat level 9, you beat the run. This is the battle archive. I have a lot of points unlocked because I'm profile rank 51. So you do get points every time you unlock a profile, and you also get points for every difficulty that you complete. So like if we want to do that, and for whatever reason, my game does seem to be glitched. I have beaten Ascension 10 in the past and up to Heat 10, but I don't have access to Heat because they added 5 more Ascensions, and this is a bug somehow. I don't know what happened. Anyways, moving on. You can get things like movement speed on your units. You can get attack speed and damage. So there's damage percent, so 10%. No, 12.5% because 5 points. That's max. You can see it's kind of purplish when it's maxed out. Damage increment. And these costs go up. These skill point, like the first point might be 3, the next point might be 6, that kind of stuff. Revive chance is silly. I'm just going to take a random point into that. You can't really afford a whole lot. I got like 5 points from the last run. So you can imagine that that's probably not too valuable. You'll get 1% chance to dodge. How about that? So we're going to play on Ascension 10, which is like a difficulty plus 10. So you start here, and then you work your way up. And then there are now 15 Ascensions. Each Ascension has a different boss. Yeah. So Ascension 1 has a different boss and some different effects. You can kind of look at these. So like enemies can become overclocked, which gives them like 3 times health and like 3 times damage and stuff like that. But yeah, there's different bosses in each Ascension. And then when you get to Heat, it randomizes those bosses. Oh, I don't actually know what I selected in the cards. I selected Castle. I didn't mean to select Castle. I'm just going back real quick here. Start new run. I am going to go with the Robo Recycler and the Hovers Harvester and the regular Engineer here. Okay. This allows you to select one new unit at the bottom, and then you get upgrades, which are unit individual hacks that are global, but typically have keywords, coins, which allow, there's no shop here, but allow you to buy stuff at the shop. You also get coins, I think, just from completing missions and finding them in the mission. Usually just like 50 or 100 or something. And then you have starting minerals, which you can upgrade here. I do have points into these, so instead of 100, it's 130. Instead of 260, or instead of like 200, it's 260 here or something like that. And then you get drops. Drops can be both consumable and non-consumable. If they're non-consumable, you get to use them once per mission. So they stay with you. If they're consumable, you don't. So like, for example, I have a thing in the skill tree that gives me a random drop at the beginning of the mission or the beginning of the run. So everything gets turbo, and then that's what turbo does. Subtracts 35% of the original attack cooldown, greatly increasing attack rate. So kind of a bloodlust with no movement speed. But you can just activate that, and it would last for 60 seconds. So like a heavy early push, mid run, whatever. But you can use that once. And you can get duplicates as well. I'm going to be going robos because of the thing that I was picking. Let's see here. Bombs would be interesting. They'd automatically destroy themselves, which not super handy, but we can get a lot of them. The Marines can be handy because they do have some attack range. This thing has some attack range. It is melee, but it scales with range. Can throw smart oil. Targets bounty. Bounty gives you money when they die. crystals when they die. Enemies that are tagged, I should say. I can also reroll infinitely on this screen if I want, because I took a skill point to do so. I'm going to go with the Robo Marine. It seems very general here. Probably go this route here. I would rather have coins than a drop. Okay, we could turn our Marines into bomb creeps when they die. Area of skills and attacks by 50%. Crit chance for 15 seconds. And of course we can re-roll this. We have 5 re-rolls. I think they're best used typically in the shop, because the shop has like 4 of these, 4 drops, 8 upgrades, 4 hacks, 4 drops there. It's quite a bit. On death for this one unit, I think we're gonna just do that. I think crit could be really fun. Let's see here. Quantity over quantity. I don't really want my HP to be reduced more. I already have limited HP. I'm going robos. They're like infantry, basically. What did I have here? Ooh, I got a free crystal kill thing. I don't know that I need a lot of money. I think healing frugality could be useful. That could be good. That could be weird-ish. Killing an enemy. Kill charge could be good on the recycler, because it would give us energy. I don't know if they actually get a lot of kills, but we'll just do it. You can reject the upgrades and this stuff. You can take coins instead of taking an upgrade or a hack. Again, it's just like 50, so it's not much. We'll get going here. I know that's it's a lot to take in. It's a new game that I'm showing off here, so it is whatever. You can kill trees. This engineer specifically does 5 times damage to obstacles. You can do tab. Oh my gosh. Got some stuff stuck in here. And then I'm going to send them over here and have them go and harvest that. These guys get extra harvest speed when they are. I did not mean to kill the baby electro stag thing. Now I'm stunned forever. You can blow up some of the rocks to get like little pieces and bits of money. You hit the default is tab, and then you can just start building stuff with hotkeys. So it is somewhat simplified. One of the big cool things, thing already has 2 more little pups there. One of the cool things is you can slow down time. This is just spacebar. Slow down time 90%. Since this is the first level, we will just spam units, basically, and go. And then I think it's F2 grabs all your units. Tab grabs all your buildings. F1 grabs your builder. So we can do this. Make sure they're not trapped in there. There we go. When you're building things with hotkeys, it automatically is selecting all of your stuff. What do I mean by that? It will automatically assign stuff to the different buildings. You don't have to go in and manually mess with stuff. I am at a certain level of difficulty where smaller enemy units will create these little pods. If the pods time out, they will revive, basically. Something of note is when you build a building, you do actually get a free unit. And I believe you can completely block your buildings in, and it'll just build it near the most nearby valid location, basically. It's a weird base structure for a first level. Each level is basically a little bit bigger. The first level is pretty small. I don't know what this thing is doing here. That's not what I meant to do. I just shot coins at a thing. There, that's the mixing up my buttons here. So for smaller units, they did just make the buildings cheaper. The robos are cheaper now. And first level is generally going to be pretty simple, easy type stuff. So we're just going to rush in here and kill this building. We'll just continue forward. There's a shop in this one, so we might want to take the shop. It does mean that we'd have to not take a robo, though. We could take like a light vehicle or a heavier vehicle. So these are more like jeeps and stuff. There's more tanks. We also have mechs and more random. And this is how it used to be a long, long time ago, where it would just give you a single like random blueprint, and then they made it so that you could choose between categories, which I really like. So you might get a category that's like fire or high health or high damage or whatever. I could do random. I could do tanks. I think I'm going to do tanks. Let's see here. The railgun tank. I can't not take this. This is a very good tank, if I recall. Let's see here. Armed factories, they start with a turret, strengthen numbers, spawns get 10% damage and max health. Armored friendlies get healed, blah, blah, blah. Weapon in sight range, max HP minus 50%. This is going to sound crazy, but I could put this on the railgun tank and it would suddenly have like 11 range, which is just insane. Attack cooldown of 20% is also huge. 5% chance to ignore incoming damage would be good on potentially my little marine dudes. I'm actually didn't do sniper range on the railgun. And we'll do attack speed on the railgun as well. I don't know how useful that is, but it is what it is. I don't normally buy drops. These are all multi-use, as in you can use them each run. So you can get machine guns just at random. Orbital lightning strike stuns things. Invincibility drop. All your units and buildings become invincible. This could be useful if like you're just having a hard time with certain enemies or something, and like slimes can be frustrating sometimes because they just spawn so many of them. They split when they die. But since we're going a spawn build here, I want to do this one. Strengthen numbers, give me stronger spawns, basically. So they already have 50% damage and max HP. Now they'll also have 10% damage and 10% max HP. Those are stacking. I'm actually going to go to a random drop here. We got 2 turbo drops. That's whatever. I do really like the veterancy drop, and like there's a crystal meteor drop is fun. Creates a giant patch of crystals and stuff. I do wish I could build buildings while that thing is falling down. But alas, I cannot. Looks like there's some tree coverage on this side. Maps are seeded. Oh, hey, let's go grab this. This is a wisdom. These things are cool. I like this mechanic. So, if you capture it, you just have to have people nearby. If you capture it, it will give you one extra choice. What is this? It's like telling me that there's something at that spot. I think it's a glitch. But it'll give you one extra choice on your next map, on your next selection system, whatever you want to call it. Your in-between spire thingy. I guess we should probably get some railguns out here. Typically, these things are not going to be this close to the base. You might have to kind of push into the depth of the world, and as you get into higher difficulties, I don't know which ones, but higher ascensions and then later heats. Heats go infinite. Ascensions unlock specific content. There we go. Additional rewards, right? Oh, wait. I don't really want to kill the dome, but kill these trees. How about? I think the enemy is actually having a hard time scouting me. Oh, look, slimes. Okay. Fun stuff. So they didn't do too much damage, but yeah, slimes are melee, and they split when they die. So you'll get these like giga slimes, and they'll turn into mega slimes, and mega slimes will turn into, you know, large slimes and medium slimes, and oh boy. And each time they split, there's more of them, and it's just terrifying. Or it can be. I think they've kind of nerfed them a little bit. And almost every unit can attack, so... yeah, these guys can't. But, like, that little scout was just in here, and he was just looking for trouble. Let's get some of these railgun tanks going. Okay, now these railgun tanks, because they will pierce, also tend to get veterancy very quickly. So veterancy works very similar to Command and Conquer games, kind of. Basically, it just is 5 kills in this game, so smaller units do lead up to having some... I don't want my... Yeah, so just killing a few slimes. This guy's already veterancy. Veterancy just gives a 25% bonus to the damage, which is good. Don't get me wrong. That's the wrong button. There we go. And then certain bases will have these little treasure chest drop things. Oh, there's another one. See, can I build this over here? Oh, I can. Yeah, so robo buildings are significantly cheaper now. As far as I can tell, that's pretty good. One of the disadvantages of robos is that they do give veterancy to the enemy very quickly. They do die very quickly. These only have 100 health. Even with this thing having reduced health, it's got almost 100 health as a tank. And we could build another railgun. And since you do get a freebie when you build the building, So like this building is 160 but gives you a 55 cost unit. This is a 1500 but gives you an 800 cost unit. So the first selection that you get, such as my Marines here, will have significantly higher max buildings. So you do get 10 buildings here, Marine, Robo Marine, Factory, whatever, and this one only gives you 3 buildings. And then let's see if it's on this card. And then each building only gives you 6 or 5 in the original. So go and destroy here. Can I just kill this outright? Due to the range, I can literally just sit back here. Oh. Not sitting back anymore here. I keep using the wrong button. This thing has shields, so it's just slightly tedious to hit because I'm hitting it with something slow, but there you go. It's level 2. It's mission 2. It's not crazy. I don't want to take too long on each one of these, so. There is another shop. I don't have coins, though, so something with splash damage could be good. We're going to be doing an elite force here. Here's the missions, by the way. So small battle, elite force, and then boss force. We can maximize hacks. There's 2 hacks this way. There's 2 hacks this way. Maximize coins. 2 this way, 2 that way. Typically don't maximize for crystals. They can be useful in my opinion. I know some people don't like them, so I don't know what the primary way of doing things is. I'm not like doing heat 60. There are a handful of people that can do that, but I am not one of them. But I like to maximize hacks myself, and then after that, coins are good, but I also like starting crystals. I think starting crystals are really good up to a point. If you can just get like your first 3 or 4 buildings out very, very quickly, I think that's really valuable. It's not like StarCraft or Command and Conquer where you need to build them in a specific order. So you can drop your biggest, heaviest thing right away. So the starting crystals allow you to do that. So like railgun tanks and stuff. Can I get multiple hacks and get crystals? Yes, I can. Let's do a vehicle. Whew. I'm getting some really good picks here. I'm sorry. It's this is hard to pass up. We'll just go like this. We got some extra crystal. We got some extra money. We'll do hacks. Active skills with duration lasts 24%. That's crazy. That's a heal. That's very strange. Gives vision for 3 minutes. Basically the owl from Warcraft 3. Being on the highest ground will slowly heal friendly enemy. Heal friendlies. This actually helps my harvesters. We'll just do that. Snipers get +2 attack range. We've got, let's see our cards up here. So that does not create them into a sniper. I thought it did, but guess not. So weapon and sight range is increased, but it does not create them into a sniper. This one is a sniper, so he has 20 attack range now. That was probably not the best hack pick there. Probably not the worst or anything either, but This game is on Steam. It was on sale recently. I don't know if it's on sale at the moment. Probably not, because that was like a week or so ago, at least. So here we have 1,400 minerals. We're just shy of being able to build a railgun tank, and so I think that's where you get value in having those starter crystals. Being able to just drop like some of these bigger things. If you're doing robos entirely or a bunch of lighter vehicles, I don't think it's as meaningful. I don't like being tucked in a pocket like this because I don't have a lot of build space. I have to scout a little bit. There's probably an opening here. Yep, there it is. Let me think about what I want to do here. We just want to clear out some trees and garbage. Why are they sending a giant patrol this way? What is this? This is huge. That's not the one I wanted to build from. I wanted to build more workers, dude, things. And here's an overclocked. Let's look into it. Here's overclocked. So, like, its health is basically doubled. And then its damage is like 25% or something. And apparently it gets bigger attack size too. I badly want these hovercrafts out here too. The railgun tank's going to do work until I actually get hit. If they actually turn and fight me, then we might have some problems. Not too much, but they'd have to send all their stuff. They're just ignoring me for the moment. Get some hovercrafts in here. Now these things just shoot from forever away, as is. I don't know if they're all that good. I know that they're useful to be protective. There's another unit that's actually better, and I don't remember what that one is. That one shoots missiles that are, like, fiery. Build a couple more buildings here. You're going to roll out probably really quick here. There's some PCS tanks. That thing's got 4 armor. If you have never played a StarCraft game, armor works the same as StarCraft 1 and 2, up to a point. And how that works is that... give me a second here. I'm just trying to think and do stuff at the same time. I'm not 300 APM here. I would like maybe one more railgun. Three railguns would be good. Then I roll out. I also want all my recyclers out. They're relatively cheap. Oh yeah, I want to mention this. So like, because we got the hack for 25% duration, we've got harvester skill duration from the skill tree at the beginning, the battle archives they call it. So we go from 40 seconds of this double harvest rate and movement speed to 52.5 seconds. Yeah, that's pretty good, right? It's something, right? But with this magic stamina, 25% longer is an extra 10 seconds there. So pretty good. That's why I took it. I was thinking I don't have anything with like a duration that matters. Like, I mean, these summon zombies, but I'm not really concerned about my zombies living longer. They're zombies and they probably are going to die anyway. With the enemies passing by so closely, I do have the opportunity to basically harvest veterancy status for my longer range units. While veterancy in this game is just simply 5 kills, veterancy in like Command and Conquer type stuff, I believe is like 3 times your net worth, or your unit worth, your unit cost, something like that. Normally. Yeah, so they're upgrading pretty quick. We'll just summon some zombos to... Okay, they're all right there. We're gonna back up. We're gonna back up. We'll get a little bit more going here. I am very kind of trapped here because the base is so close. Like, that is really close. Yeah, these zombos can go run around and do something. We will get heavy-handed here with some buildings. Because we do have the long range, we basically can ignore half of what we're doing. It's a bit cheesy. There is high ground mischance. There was a little, like, crooked arrow there. That means it's, like, bouncing off or reflecting off of their armor. So the idea is that there's not, like, evasion in the game. There's, like, accidental miss, not miss, but reflection kind of stuff. I don't know what you want to call it. Basically that. Okay, that's a danger call. We're having enemy reinforcements. I'm not really sure why they're not just running at me. Don't. Okay, I am running out of minerals. We've got another mineral patch here. I actually did not see this. Because of the trees, mostly. Wasn't seeing it. There we go. That's helpful. So yeah, the lighting on this map is actually hard for me. I'm not noticing that there's crystals here. I'm just zoning it out. Kind of funny. We're gonna slowly kind of creep up towards this high ground here. And now that we have control of the high ground, we won't miss. And we're kind of getting extra vision from this. Well, not kind of. We're definitely getting extra vision from that. Unit lost. Well, don't get lost. So you can see my hovercrafts, they have this veterancy status now, so they went from like 11 damage to 14, 15. Same thing with these. Because of the long range, because of the high damage value, they're just getting a significant value here. Which makes the railgun tank really cool. Really valuable. Attack speed is also just really good here. So it is getting 0.37 attacks every second. So it's not a very fast attacker, but it is very powerful. keep boosting those guys. And I think we are out of building capacity at the moment, so we're gonna do this. Send everything over here. I don't know if there's any, like, wisdoms or anything in here. Got a bunch of stuff that seems to be heavy protected by some kind of shield generator thing. They're just pouring units out. I'm just gonna start moving around. With all of my range, I can just kind of sit still for the most part. We'll continue reinforcing this location. Naturally, shielding is going to be very good against my railguns because, well, the shields block an entire instance of damage. Okay. Well, we beat a bunch of stuff over that way. We'll come back over here. Let's cancel that. Cancel another one of those. And there we go. Running out of space to build. But I've got a lot of buildings, so that's what it is. We kind of cleared this out. They won't protect this area now. They might send a couple little things here. I just want to see if there's something up here that is worth discovering. A wisdom or something. I don't know. I don't remember if it always shows up or not, but... the game, I think, is really fun. Just to be, you know, talk about the game a little bit more generally. It's an RTS. It's a roguelike. As with any mixed genre, it's probably not going to excel at either one of those perfectly for what you might want. It's not going to be Slay the Spire. It's not going to be Hades. You know, it's just its own thing. And I think that's cool. You can get into a habit of basically just always picking the strongest or most versatile unit. I got lucky. I got two of the probably stronger units in the game. Okay, I don't even know if I can prevent myself from winning. Yeah, they're too close. So there's that. Continue. Okay, so this is a specialist hack. This is what you get every third level. There's 2 rounds, basically, of lesser elites. So that we've done that, we get to choose. There's always 3 cards. I believe they're always the same. I don't think there's a 4th card being randomly assigned in there. So enemies get a 50% chance on death to drop cores. So because they're kind of like corpses, if you're not losing robos in the front line or, you know, running a bunch of bomb units or something, you're not going to have a lot of cores if you're just steamrolling through, which makes your recycler not very good. I mean, he's a necromancer. He needs cores to resurrect zombie robots, and right? So, and then friendly units also get +1 cores dropped for every 50 max HP. So definitely helpful if you're running larger tanks, mechs, whatever. I would say probably mechs and tanks for that second part, and just being able to steamroll on that first part. Spawns get 25% chance to drop robocores. So if you're getting robo-zombies from multiple locations or other forms of spawn, as there are some mechs and tanks that have what are called pilots, it's a keyword, when the unit dies, it summons like 5 Marines or something, and those are like meant to be your pilots in those units. So you have a couple mechs and tanks that'll do this. And there's other ways of getting spawns, such as like the spider spawns and whatnot. So you get the chance of having cores come from spawns, which means that you can have this like infinite feedback loop of you get spawns that spawn cores that spawn more spawns, as long as you have the capacity to raise the cores from your necromancers. Pretty cool. And then, of course, when Robo Recycler dies, that's the actual necromancer, it spawns 10 zombies. So even if you lose your recycler, you get some zombies, which will then give you, 2.5 cores on average. And the recycler itself already spawns 3 robo zombies. Also, apparently, it gives an aura to the zombies of damage. So quality over quantity, basically. You get the robo recycler bonus gives the robo zombies 25 HP, 3 damage, and 5 movement speed. 5 movement speed is massive. Right now, I think they're getting 6 from the skill tree because I have like +3 and then +3 to melee. So I think it's normally like 14 movement speed. So I don't need more movement speed really, but I mean, movement speed is pretty nice. But yeah, you don't need much more movement speed really. The 25 HP goes a long way. That's more than 10% of their current HP, and I have bonuses on them already. So, and the 25 flat HP, I do believe, is added before any percentage bonuses. Not all games will calculate math the same way, but this game will always do multipliers against multipliers. So if you're 25% damage and another 25% damage, it's like 1.25 times 1.25. It's not just, 50. It is exponential or multiplicative, however you want to refer to that. I'm not really dealing with a lot of stuff right now because I have some backline units that are kind of silly powerful. They do take a while to get up and loaded. But I'm going to go Zombo Mass because that means I can, do that. A shielded enemy or an armored enemy could be good. We've got some expensive units, so we don't really want a lot more expensive units, probably. Let's get a shielded... There is a shop, but I don't really have a lot of coins. Let's get a shielded enemy. Machine gun mech and commando mech. Energy hunter. I don't know if energy hunter is good at this point in the game, like to pick up. It's kind of... meh. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it can give itself turbo, so you have to build around turbo to make these things really even valuable. They're very easy to die. Useful in a robo-zombo build, though, so not terrible. I do like the Rushmores. I've used those in the past. The Commando Mechs, you only get 6 unit cap. You can get 4 buildings. You have like 24 of those, 20 normally. They do attack crazy fast. Same thing over here, crazy fast attack speed. That one's cheaper. That one can teleport for some reason. I'm going to go with the cheaper one, although it has less cap. It's got more buildings, but less units. Interesting. I'm going to go with machine gun mech. Well, do I do coins or do I do coins? I think I'll do coins. Apply regen after teleport. Okay, so because I took a teleporting unit, now I have teleport abilities. Because I have units that have turbo, I get turbo abilities. You're not going to get a turbo ability, a hack or whatever. You're not going to have that in your pool if you don't take a unit with that tag. So just to put that out there. So it does help you not clutter your pool with things that you can't get or can't use at that moment. But it also means you can't pull it before you get the unit, which I guess there's a downside to that. You can plan ahead and say, oh, I found this really good, turbo start or whatever. I don't really care for turbo start because you'd have to have units with turbo to, or you'd have to have units that are being spawned. So it means like it'll work for zombies, right? Or spiders if you're going for that. So I have taken it in those cases in the past. I'm really not using my robos right now. Small discount, skills cost -2 MP. I'm not really using my skills at the moment. Veterans get turbo chance on kill. I think this is super powerful, especially on the railgun tanks. Which I know I'm using them as a crutch, but it is kind of what they are. Frontliner can make them have tankier health, but less range. Not really all that. And one more, I don't really need one more. And that's per building, by the way. You can do one more unit cap. Skill also spawns spiders. So we could put spiders on like this teleport. We put spiders on this or the bounty. Bounty could be cute because, I've got tons of Marines. So I just start spawning bounty everywhere and getting more little spiders. Spiders are not going to live very long. They have 5 health. 5. They're going to get splash damage and just be gone. If I took a different Zombo overwhelm, then that actually might be worthwhile to just spam stuff and get cores on the ground to get more zombos, but not really otherwise useful. Death original unit makes a spawn copy of itself. This can be useful, especially for like heavier frontline units because they die and then there's another one and you just keep going. I'm actually going to skip this for the coins and move on. Let's see where we're at for time. I am not going to be able to actually do this mission, so that's what it is. You can quit a mission in the first 2 minutes to reset. So I am going to go to the main menu. There you go. Thanks for watching. Hope you tune in for the continuation of this series. I will do at least one full run of this. I do like the game. I think it'd be fun to pick back up. It's been a while. They've been doing a lot of little things to it. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed the breakdowns. I'm trying to go fast because there's a lot of information in this game to take in. So, until next time, take care.